So I made two drills beforehand. We're going to do the 5 to 20 blind push fold first. And later we'll do versus an open, which is, of course, a whole different story. Somebody raised already. Oh, what do we do now? So let's start with this. And hopefully we can learn our, we can use our just learned ranges in practice. Zooming in, does that look good? That looks great, right? I think that looks great. So, under the gun, ace-5 for 9 blinds. Pretty easy answer. So if I think the spot is close, I might wait for chat interaction. If you want to play along and guess along. Otherwise, I might sometimes go a little too fast, which you can still type in chat what you think. And just, you know, play along that way. No, you're not a fish, Anaconda. You were correct. And it's just pre-flop decisions, by the way. We already move on. 17 on the button. Yo, welcome, Johnny Lawford. Oh, I didn't even post on Twitter, right? Well, I'm just an idiot. Oh, no, I did. I did post on Twitter. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep the study going for at least another hour, Johnny Lawford. Up until like 10 or 10:30, depending on how much energy we have. We just did some range building, and now we're going to use our knowledge in actual hands. Yeah, this is mostly a fold. Probably always a fold. There we go. I kind of like to have to click next hand, so if we are wrong, we can investigate a bit better. Instead of the automatic player. We don't jam here, I think. I think we just min raise. We might not jam anything here. But there's a button for jamming, though. What would I jam here? We can look it up, but min raise seems fine. There you go. And now we also get jammed on. Yeah, we'll look at that, Meal. And I think this is bottom of our open range. And I think this range is already strong enough, so pretty easy fold. But let's look at that range, because I'm interested. 17 blinds, 15 blinds, whatever. Low jack? There's no jamming here. All right. They were trying to trick us. Cheers. So there's no jamming. Jack 8 offsuit for 8 big blinds. I think this is actually very close. We just looked at 10 big blinds, and I think it was Jack 9 offsuit. Offsuit 9s. Yeah, offsuit 9s and 10 blinds. So this is actually very close between the two decisions. Welcome, Turner. Welcome in, everybody, to the Twitch GTO poker stream. So what do you guys think? I'm leaning towards fold, but I think it's super close. But the shorter we get, less fold equity we have, and the more important it gets that we have an ace high or king high or pair type hand. So that might not make it. That might not make it include Jack 8 offsuit. It's very close. I'm sure Jack 9 offsuit is a jam here. Yeah, no worries, Meal. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you next time again. Every Tuesday at 8. Okay, it's fold. But I want to check again for a small. The close decisions will look up quickly. Yeah, it's offsuit 9s. But that's pretty close still, right? Jack 8 offsuit is just one tat to lose. Good to know. And we move on. Easy folds. We're on a streak, chat. Let's go for streak together. Queen 10 offsuit, under the gun +1. I know what I would do, but I'm gonna pause for a second. It's a little bit closer than the other ones. But I think we fold. And I think we start opening. Yeah, we start. Do we have an opening range here? Oh, I might not. Yeah, Queen 10 suited is a gem for sure. I might not have limping enabled in this specific scenario, but that's okay because I hate limping anyway. We looked at some limping stuff and the ranges when we saw that, but I've had these since King's Day, since April. 86% fold. Wow. 14% min raise. I think it's fine to just always fold, but you know, GTO likes to flick in some min raises here. I cannot play on 888. 888 doesn't have a license in the Netherlands, sadly. I used to play on 888 and I liked it there. But currently I play 99% of my volume on GT Poker. That's the only legal site here, the only big one. We also have the Dutch site, Holland Casino, and we have Unibet. Both very soft sites that I should play more on, by the way. I keep not doing it, but I should. Because it's way softer than GG. Easy fold with Queen 7. We already saw this 5-4 offsuit fold. Interesting one. 10 blinds under the gun. This is a range we looked at an hour ago. 45 minutes ago. Let's not end our streak here. I think the suited 9s are where the cutoff lies here. And I think I added it as a gem. But I'm not sure if I was correct. It's an open when we are deeper stacked, right? It's an easy open when we are deeper stacked. It's a bit more close as a jam. But I think it's a jam. What do you guys think? Yeah, I should really play more on Holland Casino and Unibet because both sides are super soft. And I did play there, but you know, I had no big role anyway at some point. Just decided not to deposit again, but it would be worth it, I'm sure. I'm also up on Holland Casino lifetime. So yeah. I'm still down lifetime on GG. We're working on that though. We're working on that. Yeah, it's raise or yeah, we don't have min raises here. It's just jam or fold in my opinion. But I think it's gonna jam indeed. 96% jam. Well, we'll take that. We'll take that. We won't have to look that up. We have a streak of 10, chat. We have a streak of 10. Let's do this. So that's a fun gamifying experience, right, of learning poker. The percentage means what percentage of the time we do such an action. So 100% we should always fold. And the 96% means apparently 4% of the time we're folding. But that's GTO. GTO have lots of mixed strategies. As a human, it's very hard to implement that. But it's good to know, right? But I'm not really a mixed player myself. I feel like I have enough to learn in the fundamentals of the game, where we just decide A or B instead of trying to mix everything with randomizers. I think I'm not at that level where I need to do that. Yo, welcome Navarro man. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Airhorn Army. You could say that's related, yes, Pretentious Possum. If you built a poker bot, you'd like it to play GTO. So yeah, that's for sure related. And the beauty about making a bot is it's easy to balance your range, right? Because you're deciding your strategy as a whole instead of every single hand. This is why humans are so bad at balancing, because you don't know. Maybe now you raise, but do you balance that? You know, it's hard to do that as a human. That's why we use randomizers. Like pros use randomizers with a dice, or you know, we have a dice here actually. We could randomize here. The dice through 71. So you could actually use that as RNG to mix up your play. I'm not doing it, but you could actually in GTO do that. Yo, welcome Fane. If I pronounce that correctly. Fane, welcome to the stream. You're new to poker. Careful when starting out. Start at the lowest of stakes before you dive into some higher stakes. Sounds obvious, but just some general advice. Play 2.5 cash. You know, 50-cent tournaments. You know, start small and see how you go. see how you do, and then add some learning into the mix. Maybe using my stream, and slowly try to improve. Start with pre-flop ranges. If you want to start somewhere with studying, you've never studied poker, you should start with pre-flop, in my opinion. Hey, that's possible, Fane. That's possible. Even as a winner, that's possible. But you probably have some hands to learn from, right? Especially if you're new to poker. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of free rolls, even though if there's good value, I'm not, against them. But I don't think you learn a lot from free rolls, except you can build a bankroll with them. But in free rolls, people play even worse, maybe, than a 2-L. It's not really poker sometimes, even. But it's fair. It's free buy-in, so we cannot say you not to play them. But I've never been a huge fan of playing free rolls. Like, if it's a 1,000-player field and there's $100 in there, it's almost wasted time, There are some good value free rolls on ACR, though. I would play those. Sadly, I cannot. Yeah, free rolls are tournaments with $0 buy-in. You can play for free, which poker sites use as entertainment and promotion for their site. Ace Deuce in the hijack for 7 blinds. I don't think this is a clear jam. Cutoff it is. Cutoff it is every ace. For 10 blinds already. Yeah, for 7 blinds, this is probably a jam, yeah. I think for 10 big blinds, this is a fold. But I'm thinking it's a jam for 7. I play everything, Fame, but I mostly study MTT poker. So this is tournament poker we're studying here. And we're doing that part of poker that's not useful for cash games today. Because we're studying small blinds. Small stacks. So this 7 means we have 7 big blinds here. So this is just push folding in tournaments, which often is very important to know. If you're deep in a tournament or you're playing a hyper, or you so often have an average stack of 15 big blinds. You really need to know how to navigate these shorter stacks. But in cash games, of course, it's all about the post flop, I guess. So yeah, this specific stream might not be for you as a cash game player. But I stream other stuff. On Friday we only play cash games, even 2-L. And do some giveaways as well. So make sure you tune in on Friday night as well. Whole different kind of stream. I jam Ace Deuce here. We got it correct. Okay, cool. We'll play a couple more hands and then we'll go for a quick break at 9. And I'll see if my house is still here. The rain didn't wash us away. Queen 8 offsuit in the hijack. This is an open in the cutoff. But I don't think it might be a fold here. I think I'd prefer to fold the Queen 8 offsuit here. We definitely play the suited Queen 8 and we definitely open Queen 9, but I think Queen 8 is a fold. We are correct. Five 4 fold. Almost a 15 streak. And this must be a jam. Yeah, we just had 7 blind jam at Ace Deuce. This is a clear jam. Yeah, let's go. Some more rain type songs in the mix, everybody. Rain in the title, or maybe it is about rain, or about thunderstorms, or. This must be a jam. You just saw Queen 9 suited being a jam for 10. So King 9 suited for 9 will be a jam. This is how you can study and remember these ranges easily, right? If you know a close spot, you can easily deviate from that and deduce what's right or not. Yeah, so for 10 blinds this gets close. But less than 10 blinds, we often jam every pair. So even on under the gun, I think we jam. I am still here. I am still here, Anaconda. But you won't hear me if you're not here, so. I have no frames dropped at the moment. We seem to be good. All in with 3s is correct again. We are on a streak, chat. There's the air horn. No worries, Anaconda. We had some issues earlier, so 8-3. Wow, this is a bad hand. I did remove the worst hands, so we don't ever have to fold those. But I added some suited hands, you know, sometimes on the button, you know. Queen 5. Could have removed those as well. When do you play Queen 5 offsuit, you know? Hey, it makes the streak easier. 20, boom. Closer, but I think an easy fold still. The button, we start jamming the connectors a lot. But hijack for 8-7 offsuit, nah. And we are correct. This is an interesting one, chat. This is an interesting one. This might be close. This might be close. Yeah, this is one of those spots where if I was deeper stacked, I'd always open in the hijack. But with these stacks, this is also an artificial situation where everybody behind me also has 14 blinds. Like, so there's lots of rejams behind, which makes it less nice to open. So I think we might fold, yes. And we might open like 8-7 suited or something. Thanks for all the song requests, everybody. Exclamation mark SR in chat to get them in the mix. Yeah, I don't want to break my streak, chat. So I'd rather have some more insight here. I could also see a limp or a call be correct here. GTO might mix it up, then we might not lose our streak at all. If we pick one of the correct answers. So it might limp sometimes, but it might be too weak to start doing this. And I wouldn't jam it either. For 10 or 12, I start considering jamming. It's a very interesting spot where you could go lots of ways. But I'm inclined to fold. Hope we don't kill the streak. On your own. Alright. I'm gonna go with us, Anaconda. We are the two people that did this. Oof. We mix it, but that's fine. It is actually close between folding and limping. We never raise or jam. That's fine. I can live with that. We survived. We survived the streak. If we kill the streak, there's a small break with marble race. If we kill the streak, I'm doing a small break. I almost insta-folded it. I think with 5 blinds, we start jamming some really weak offsuit aces. So I think this is closer than it looks. I would hate to have to jam this. But I would also hate to fold and be the big blind with 5 blinds, right? Instead of 6. So that's why we start jamming a lot on this position. I think this is actually close. A6 offsuit for 6 blinds under the gun. I might change my mind. If it's I think it's Ace-5 offsuit for 5 that we can start jamming. Wouldn't that make it sensible that Ace-6 offsuit jams under the gun for 6? It's a little wider and we're a little stronger. I think I'm jamming this. I think I'm jamming A6 offsuit here. For 8 blinds, I would fold it. And in game, I would hate to have to jam, but I think it's the bottom of our range. Fuck! I was wrong. We broke our streak. Let's see how close we were. Look at this, Jet. Look at this. My logic was not too bad. Ace-5, we start jamming. Ace-5, I would have been correct. And a7 I would have been correct as well. But a6 offsuit is particularly a bad hand that we don't shove for 6 blinds. Very interesting. Yeah, you knew it an hour ago. I should have remembered that you told me an hour ago. Okay, that's our quick break, chat. I'm loving this. We're gonna keep doing this after the break. And later on we'll also do some spots where we have an open before us and have to decide to rejam or not. Let's continue the study part of the stream. Here we go. So we talked about limping. And like if you have a bad limping range, like always trash that you fall to a raise, that's very minus EV, of course. That's very fishy way to play limping. If you have a bit of a more balanced range, where we also have some aces in there and some other decent hands that can call a raise, like king, queen suited or something, I can see it being okay. You need to like be a little bit more polarized and balanced there, you know? Oh, I almost forgot to vote for you, Tante. Well, I made it also yes. Your Tante is gonna grind tonight. Okay, but we're gonna continue the trainer. We're getting random hands between 5 and 15 big blind stacks, or 5 and 20 even, and we decide what to do. And it's very entertaining and educational, I hope. So I will go quickly if I think it's an easy decision. And I'll wait a little bit to ask for chat input if it's a tough decision. That's my plan. I think this is an easy jam. There you go. We have some min raises from 12 blinds. Again, a polarized range probably with aces, kings, ace, king. And some hands we can min raise fold. But king 10 is not one of those. It's too much in the middle. 8s are starting to min raise, I think. Especially from 14. So yeah, I think this is a min raise. We certainly want to induce a bluff from the blinds, right? Or induce a good jam anyway. Like ace 5 is a good jam. King jack, whatever. So, but also some underpairs maybe. So this is like about strong enough to induce a raise, I think. Pocket 5s I would instantly jam, I think. So the question is 6s or 7s, where's the borderline? But I think 8s we min raise. Ooh, 40%. We don't get the streak. No, we do get the streak for that. We do get the streak for that. Okay, here we go. Here we go, you Tante. This is limping. GTO limps half of the time, roughly here. And 40% min raising. I really think it's not a bad thing to just always min raise with 8s here. I don't think it's not a big leak. Because your opponents are not going to exploit you for it. So that's why it cannot be a leak. But it's nice to see and interesting to see, right? That the GTO limps most of the time here. And of course, we also call to a jam, right? It's just basically trapping. We basically limp trapping if we limp with 8s here. No need to say sorry if you win a bounty. Yeah, that is weird for this trainer setting, Tante. Let me look at that for the next. Let me look at it now. Actually, let me look at it now. After I jam the 6s. I find that a good question. Good move, anyway. All right. Yeah, no, I don't think the trainer can do that yet, Tante. Because in the study, you can, of course, get random stacks and big stacks versus small stack situations and stuff, because that makes a difference. But I don't think we can. It's just effective stack. So for this specific scenario, we cannot do that. Yeah, well, they could make it random, but it changes everything, right? It changes everything. Well, not everything. There are lots of spots where things change, you know, because of it. Let's just keep on going, though. This is still very useful to know these ranges well. Even if your opponents have 30 blinds, you know, you roughly do the same, but it does change some scenarios. Fold the 10-8 offsuit. We never jam here. We never fold, so we always min raise. There we go. Power of deduction, you know, power of eliminating. And now we get a rejam from the button. The button? The button. The button. I think I'd fold for 20 blinds. I think we start calling like ace-jack suited or something against the button. Yeah, we start calling like ace-jack suited, ace-queen offsuit, pocket sevens or something. Maybe ace-jack offsuit as well. Something like that. Let me check that with the actual answer. It is correct. Let me check. All right. Sixes. I said sevens. Ace-jack. I changed my mind. I said ace-jack. On the offsuit side anyway. And then we call ace-10 suited, king-jack suited. Again, this is against the GTO 20 blind jam. Most of our opponents at $10 tournaments probably have often queens. Or ace-king, you know what I mean? So then we can remove the bottom of our range for the GTO range. We can probably remove ace-10 suited, ace-jack offsuit, and be totally fine. So that's also already an exploit there that I think we can adjust, apply. I'd love to open a hand like this, but for 20, let's not do it. Let's beat our streak from last time, last hour. We got to 24 or something? And I want to ask you guys' opinions if, if people want, but for the YouTube video, it's better if I keep on clicking. So this is probably a small percentage of limping for 10 blinds, because we've seen that earlier today. I'd hate it to limp here in low jack with ace king. So I jam, and I'm sure it's fine. But I'm just making a mental note here that I think GTO might limp sometimes here. Okay, never in this spot. It's a very easy decision, chat. Come on, let's not be. Let's not try to be geniuses here. Ace king for 10 blinds, easy jam. I was just wondering if there was limping involved. This time there wasn't. This is a more interesting spot, chat. So we looked at 10 blinds under the gun, and it was ace-4 offsuit plus, for ace-4 suited plus. And we do get to open every suited ace when we're more deeper, but I think it might be a fold. I think this might still be ace-4 suited plus. So yeah, I think a fold is fine. Yeah, me too, you tante. But I really think I need to start looking at some limping in the button, on the button. I think lots of people would also not know how to play against it, right? If I make sure that my limping range is close to my min-raising range and at least a little bit polarized. For 10 blinds, it's also ace-4 suited, you tante. Under the gun, it's ace-4 suited for 10 blinds. We studied this an hour ago, so I know it. So yeah, it must be a fold still then, right? If we get more deeper, we can open a little bit wider, but then we would min-raise this. But I don't think for 14 I want to do that. 79%. 97%, sorry. So we limp, chat. We limp. But again, this is a small percentage as well, and GTO is just trying to balance perfectly. Yeah, this is easier than... this is quite easy, tante, because I've studied push-fold ranges a lot. This is also why I think I'm good at high percent turbos, because I'm often in this spot, right? But I want to get better at it anyway. I want to still get better, because I make mistakes. This is interesting, chat. If we have 10 blinds, we jam this one, because we know we jam every ace from the cutoff for 10 blinds. But a little bit deeper, this is not even an open. You'd start opening ace-5 suited, ace-5 offsuit. So this is interesting. If we min raise here, we cannot call it all in. It would just be a steal. But I know the open range for 40 blinds for something. Also, does it like to open ace-4 offsuit? I think it starts opening ace-6, ace-5. So I think it's a fold. And I don't think it's a very bad idea to min raise. It's very close. But I'm trying to play the GTO game here. Yeah, ace-5 and ace you are correct that ace-4 and ace-5 are a little better than ace-6 often. We literally saw this before the break where I jammed ace-5, but ace-6 would have been good. Or the other way around, I can remember. No, I jammed ace6, but ace5 would have been a jam. Yeah, this is very close between min raising and folding. We definitely don't jam this. I'm gonna go for fold. Yes. Let's check, chat, what the range here for 20 blinds looks like. Oh, this is a different range. This is weird, right? Because this min raises ace deuce. I'm not sure what's happening here. Must be something. Oh, I wasn't. Oh. I'm an idiot. Thanks. Yes. Of course. Yes. So ace5 always, and ace6 even gets folded sometimes. And ace4 is a fold. Yeah, thanks. Damn. I blame the heat. Even though it's getting a little cooler now. Let's move on. 11 streak. Good evening, Freckles. Fold to jack 7. Please get out of my way. We could argue that 9 suited, but not this one. Oh, I'm certainly an idiot. Hey, did we know this spot? So this is different. This is 10 big blinds. This is a jam. Phew. Almost folded. Then I looked at the big blinds. 14 streak. Under the gun. 5 blinds. We fold this, but I'm just thinking about what the range looks like. We haven't looked at 5 blinds today yet, so shooting in the dark a little bit about 5 blind jamming ranges. Very wide, of course. Especially when we get the big blind next, but probably jack 9 suited or something, but not jack 5. Shall we take a quick look? It's all non-PKO, yeah. It's all chip EV as well. So we get tighter when ICM gets into the mix. This is 5 blinds under the gun. What did I say? Did I say jack 9 suited? Alright. Yeah, this is all without PKOs. GTOWizard has PKO training as well, by the way. Oh yeah, that's surprising indeed, Zerny. I think it probably has to do with less fold equity against the big blind. I don't know, something like that. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Henny. Easy all in here. We're still correct for 16 in a row. Fold. We fly so high. Fold. We're thinking about ace 10 offsuit, not ace deuce offsuit. I would have to look it up in my database, Henny. I might have, actually. I might have. But yeah. Yeah. Close to the bubble, of course, or something like that for sure. But in a general situation, I really don't know what I would have done. I think I would have known it was close. I would have known it was close. But I have no clue what I would have done. 20 streak, let's go. Couple of easy ones now. Not as easy as it looks, but I still think it's a fold. We start opening like jack 8 offsuit, deeper stacked. And for 14, we tighten up a little bit. So probably an easy fold. It's nice to know some things in poker sometimes, you know? It's nice to be correct for a while. Easy jam. Nice to see what we can call by. Fives, okay, nice hand. I would always jam. I can see GTO go crazy here. Maybe induce with a min raise, because it's 12, so it does some min raising and limping. But I just jam and be okay with it. See, there you go. 92%, I said it. GTO mixes a little bit. 7% min raise. So it does, but I don't think it's important, but it does. I wouldn't in that position either. I totally agree with you in game, je tante. But if GTO does that, it's an induce. Because it's not folded to a jam. Maybe if two people jam, right? But then even then, you probably have to commit with tens. So it's an induce, it's a trap. But only 8% of the time, 7% of the time, so. Not a wildly applied strategy. I think it's a jam. Low jack for 8. Yeah, must be a jam. Well, must be a jam. I can see king 7 be a fold. But suited kings. What do you think, chat? I think I jammed this. We want to keep the streak alive, so. 8 blinds in the low jack. 10 blinds under the gun would be a fold. A hijack, I'm pretty sure it's a jam. Gregory says fold. Dante says fold. I think it's a jam. Henny says easy jam. Well, I don't think it can be an easy jam because I think king 7 is a fold. So if it's on the border, it cannot be easy, right? But I go with all in. Fuck! Well, I'm happy it wasn't easy, but I'm sad we fucked our streak. So let's take a look at 8 big blind low jack. I mean, this is fucking close. It's suited 9s and even some suited connectors here, but not king 8. Man. Alright, I think that makes a good moment to switch things up. So I know I'm pretty good at this specific spot, even though this is a mistake. But let's change the game. Where do I change the game? Fucking hell. Here. Excellent score. Thank you very much, GTOWizard. Thank you very much with the 94%. So I prepared another drill. This is 5 to 25 big blinds. Push fold. A bit more difficult, and that's why we can maybe learn a bit more. After an open, what do we do with specific scenarios? Here we go. 10 big blinds versus under gun. We have an easy fold. But this is more interesting. And also adjusting might be a point, more of a point here. But we're trying to win the GTO game here, right? We're trying to get a streak going. But I hate these spots. I hate this. Because I would be so inclined to limp along and see a flop. But that's the recreational player in me. I think this is... Yeah, I mean... GTO might like to jam with ace-4, yeah. And I think calling is bad as well. So I think it's fold or jam. And yeah, like in game I would probably fold because under the gun is too strong. Yeah. That's why I said that's a recreational player in me that would have liked to call here, honey. But I said then afterwards, it's probably jam or fold. But I think we also prefer to jam against the more later open positions, right? Against later open, this is in a clear jam. But against under the gun, I'm not so happy about it. But we know GTO likes this kind of hand, so. It's just a fold, chat. No, it's a call! The recreational in me is correct. We just call. Aye. That is very interesting. And it just has to do with the pot odds, right? I also call tighter these days than GTO does. But you also have to know how to play post-flop well. Right? That's also a reason to be tighter than GTO. Because you might not find enough spots post-flop to apply pressure. Yes, we can see that for sure. We can see that for sure. This is the opening range. The orange on the right. This is the opening range under the gun for 17 blinds, I think it is. We're playing 17 blinds here. So we're doing pretty bad with ace-4 suited against that, huh? Doing pretty bad with ace-4 suited against that. But you can make better hands fold if you jam. Like, you can make some better ace-x fold. But we don't jam, so. Yeah, so what do we, I think in game people are tighter than this. The regular recreational from like 15 blinds doesn't min raise 10-8 suited, queen 8 suited, king 7 suited, king 8 suited. I think the regular at my stakes plays tighter than that as an open under the gun. I think. But they might open too wide on this side. They might open too wide with the pocket pairs. Because people overvalue pocket pairs. And they might open too wide with broadways, with king 10 offsuit, queen 10 offsuit. So that might make it the same kind of range in terms of percentage of hands. But they would have less suited hands and more of these broadways maybe. But that's just my guess. I hope that makes any sense. But we should call here apparently. Cutoff opens, we have king queen. I think this is a very nice rejam. Okay, 60%. That's good enough for me. But we also call sometimes, alright. We also call sometimes. Alright, that's fine. Let's try to build the streak again. After we fucked up the ace-4 suited. 8s on the button. For 20, he's pretty deep, but it's 25 blinds deep now. It's an easy jam if you're a little shorter. I think this might mix between calling and jamming. I'd love to jam it, but I think GTO might mix this. We can't really min raise. It's a little weird. Need a little bit more chips for that. Yeah, I think it's a mix between call and jam. And we really like to call on the button very wide. Plays very well post flop. But oh, you say 3-bet call or jam. Okay, never just call. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm wondering if we are deep enough to 3-bet here. Well, there's a 5. This option to raise to 5 makes me think you might be correct. Because we always make it a little smaller when we're so short, right? You might be right, Henny, but I'm jamming. I think jamming is also a solid option. Ooh, 97%. That's higher than I thought. That's higher than I expected. And 3% min raise. Hey, Henny, you get a point, okay? You get 3% of the points there. It was mixed. Yeah, you said mix. Okay, you get all the points. You get all the points. Yeah. I know. Oh, interesting. This is just big blind defense now. We don't play post flop though in this scenario. I think in this trainer, I think we just call and then the hand is over, which makes it easy to play today. Because we focus on pre-flop today. Nice one, Eagles, Hotel California. Yeah, just fold. I don't know what I was thinking about. I was thinking about something juicy, but just fold. Ace-8, small blinds versus button. Yeah, easy jam, right? We on the roll again. Ship it in, indeed. Jacks, lovely. Get me a call, get me in there. We're good at shipping to Yutante today. So, I'm gonna fold this, but I'm gonna look at the range, how we continue here. I think we start calling like king 6 suited. As bad as king 6 suited, we start calling here. I think, yeah, on the button. That's my guess. King 6 suited or something. Very wide. I'm a GTO genius again. I'm a GTO genius again. And I'm still losing at poker, but I'm a GTO genius. King 6 suited we can, but in game I'd rather just fold, but let's like look at the 3-bets. So So in this scenario, we don't 3-bet on this side at all. A little bit of the suited aces. So we hardly 3-bet bluff here. Right? Look at it. Look at this range. We hardly 3-bet bluff. Like Jack-10 suited can be considered a bluff. Because it's one of the worst hands we 3-bet here. Which is interesting to me. But this is not a spot where we do the suited king 3-bet stuff. Next hand. Fold. California. Fold. Yeah, fold. We love folding, chat. Oh, interesting. Open under the gun, we have ace-queen. Nah, maybe not that interesting. Usually just get it in with ace-queen here, less than 20 blinds. Not really a decision. He still opens ace-jack. He still opens king-queen. He still opens lots of suited aces. Pairs we flip against. 95%. I'm curious about the other 5%. He has kings, of course. 5% min raise, okay. 3-bet, yeah. It's almost a min raise, right? But 3-bet. Jamming is totally fine. Bad reshove. Because he had kings, you mean? Totally. Yes, this is all chip EV without PKO. We could do a bit of ICM at the end to see how it compares and how it changes things. Because ICM is very important, of course. I hate this spot. But it's so short that we have to go over it every ace, I believe. You don't really want to see a flop, you just want to jam it in. We just realize the equity the best way, right? We might have some calls here, though, with some speculative hands. Like, you can still see the flop with like 7-9 suited here or something, right? We only need to realize 16% of equity, right? So yeah, we can call a lot here and just jam every pair, every gut shot, every... But yeah. Let me quickly look at that. How we would approach that. What is that? Sometimes GTO gives a very weird result. I forgot what I was looking at. This is just his range. What is... Oh my god. The question is, this is the spot. This is the spot I was looking at. Try to look at. So yeah, we defend most of our suited hands still from 6 blinds. We remove the worst part, but we still call Jack deuce suited, 9 deuce suited, 8-5 suited. We just call that. But we jam a very predictable race here. Every ace, 5s plus. I would jam every pair here. I would jam every pair here. Thinking that would realize my equity the best way. That's interesting, we don't jam the weakest pairs here. I get that we jam all this shit. I don't get why we jam this not. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting too. This is the open range from the cutoff. Jack 9 suited is the only hand we min raise. That's so fucking funny. Oh, this is so funny, but it's not super... In practice, not super important, but... It's so funny to see. That's why we get this weird result. Let's keep on going. Yeah, there's also something called solver noise, where GTO just mixes some things that you don't need that, you know. You don't need that. Yeah, I call it solver noise, because I'm being nice to the developers as an affiliate. This might be interesting, chat. King Jack offsuit on the button versus cutoff. If I was on the small blind versus the button, I would jam this in. I don't want to call this with offsuit Broadway. I think it's a jam, but it's not super. Nah, not really, Henny. Yes, you might be correct. Yes, because we did see that min raise, so it was only a small portion of their total actions. Yeah. So it could be true. Yeah. Yeah, it was. We already moved on. We already moved on. The cutoff win raises. I don't think we jam every offsuit Broadway here. I think like 10 Jack offsuit is too weak to jam for 17. That being said, I think I like a jam. I don't like a call. I really like to call with like King Queen suited or something. That's too strong. Then maybe we jam that as well. But King 10 suited or something, I'd rather call here, or Jack 9 suited, things like that. King Jack offsuit, yeah, that's. But maybe it's fine because we only play for top pair anyway, right? With this low SPR post flop, you don't really care too much about suitedness. It already matters a little bit. But yeah, it's a close decision. I'd say we jam, but I think it's mixed. So we might have a mixed result here anyway. Oh, the jam is wrong. Completely wrong. Well, then it's a call. We don't fold it. Yeah. Oh, we fold 16% of the time. Okay. And we call most of the time. All right. Let me look at this spot. This is cutoff min raises. We are the button. So we do jam a lot here. Wow. I mean, it kind of makes sense because the cutoff opens wide enough. Like 35%, they should open, right? And maybe 30% for 17 blinds. That's a wide range, right? Let's look at their range. This is their open range. Looking wide. So we attack that. I would have expected less jams here. I would have expected more flats with suited connectors and suited broadways on the button. We mostly jam here, basically. Basically, as an exploit, we call with aces and kings. And with some crap at the bottom of our range, and that's it. That's not an exploit, that's a mix. GTO doesn't exploit. I'm aware. But we even jam trees here. Which I wouldn't love in-game. I would think about 6s plus or something. So what we should keep in mind then, our average opponent that opens from the cutoff, does he open all these offsuits, these suited 7s and all these crappy hands, which we have more fold equity against, right? If they open all these offsuits, all these crappy hands, we have more fold equity with pocket trees. But I find this interesting. We can jam so much on the button. We don't use our position at all. We just jam. So the fact that the cutoff opens wide is more important than the fact we have position on them, basically. If that makes sense. Ace Queen, all in. We killed our streak with that one, chat. King Jack offsuit, button versus cutoff. Not a jam. We do jam a lot, but not King Jack offsuit. King 5 suited versus hijack, no thanks. I see an ace with 5 blinds. And I see a jack. I'm all in. Jack 9 versus under the gun, no thanks. Ace 5 offsuit. Fold. I'm not trying to look at this side of my screen instead of this side. I can see the same thing. But on this side it's bigger. But this looks better on camera. Because I'm looking at the action. Sevens. versus under the gun. They probably jam like 5s plus, they jam. I think this might be a fault. It's because I set it up badly, je tante. Because I should set it up that it includes less worse hands. I think it's 7s or 8s we start calling here. I think 6s is a fault. But I can set it up a bit better, je tante, so we have a little bit less easy faults. I'm also still learning this trainer. What do you guys think with 7s here, chat? No fault equity against a strong range under the gun, who opens like 5s plus, ace 10 plus, king queen plus. I think it's borderline. I think it's fault. I'm pretty sure 8s I go for. So I wouldn't be surprised if 7s are fine here. But in game I might fold because under the gun is probably GTO jams a little wider than what people do in game. Because Jack 9 suited is in there, you know? And against those hands we do pretty well. It's certainly not an easy decision, Gregory. It's certainly not an easy decision. If you think this is easy, you go with 5s as well? And that's too wide for sure. So man. We do our wrong though. But I think I might have gone a bit too much with my in-game action here. It is 5s. Holy shit. I rest my case. I stand corrected, Gregory. I stand corrected. Yeah, you did say Cole, and you were correct. And it surprises me in this position. It surprises me for sure. Under the gun, this is the jams. Well, he jams 3s, yeah. For some reason I said 5s. Then it makes a bit more sense. And then suited 9s. Ace 10, ace, yeah. Basically the set what I thought it would be, but a bit more pairs on the bottom end. And then the question becomes again, in game, do our opponents jam Jack 9 suited and Queen 9 suited? And all these suited aces? I think in game people might jam a little tighter than this, even still. Which still makes 7s an all-in, by the way, I think. You could of course, do some Equilab calculations and see when you get the right price and stuff. But we're not gonna do that now. But I think 7s is still an all-in then, even against a tighter opponent. So I think we just made a mistake, which is totally fine. We're here to learn, right? So 7s, easy jam. All in on. Queens! Get that in the middle as quick as possible. What did the other guy have? 7-6 offsuit. In the bin, my friend. He has the bottom of his range when he jams. That was funny. Easy defense. 88%. We have some 3-bet bluffs with ace-deuce off. 12% of the time we have some ace-deuce offsuit 3-bet bluffs here. Back on a streak. Okay. Ooh, nah, it's a fault. Oh yeah, it's against a jam, of course. It's maybe against a race first in it gets close, but not really. Hey, ace king. The only question here is, do we have 3 bets or only jams? I think it doesn't really like to 3-bet ace king, by the way. I think GTO really jams it a lot instead of min raising or whatever. So I think even for 25, we might not have a min raise 3-bet. There you go. It would with kings, probably. But in a small blind, not a spot where you really wanna do that too much. Okay, well, we do min raise. I keep saying min raise. The smaller raise, the 3-bet with queens plus ace king, ace queen. Ace-king suited, we do that 100% of the time almost. And ace-king offsuit, we don't. Interesting, right? That's quite interesting to me. And then this is a bluff, queen 8 suited and king 7 suited. We have some bluffs, but not a lot. And time flies while you're doing this trainer stuff. Fold. So let me try something, by the way. Let me try something. So, because I remember a setting, and I'm very scared of this setting, Tante. But you mentioned that we had so many close, non-close decisions. We can click close decisions. But I'm a little scared of this one. But let's see. I don't know how well this is implemented, or if this is like doing what we wanted to do, but let's do it. So now it should be very tough. Now it should be very tough. And I'm already shaking in my boots. No, I'm not scared. Is not really. Scared is not really the right term, but. Yeah, we go. We probably fold, yeah. The bottom of our range with the ace-x still against the cutoff. So we almost have no fold equity. That's the problem. Yeah, I think I'd fold too. 50%. Hey, at least we keep our streak alive with these kind of mixed answers. It's all in as well sometimes. Okay. Wow. So yeah, I think I'd fold this in game. This is close to the sevens we had before. Now the sevens we had was hijack versus under the gun, so we can go wider than that here. So and if it's fives plus in the hijack, this must be a call. But I wouldn't do this in game. I'd probably go like fives or sixes. I still hate my life. But sixes I would call for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is close to that spot earlier where I think I'd fold in game as well. Yo, Light Supplier. Welcome. I'm doing great, my friend. I'm recovered from the Questje finally. No, I was fine Sunday too. Saturday I wasn't really alive. I hope you enjoyed it, Light Supplier. I think I was a little too drunk at the end. Sorry for that. But it was a great party. It was an awesome party. So we're doing some GTOWizard stuff here. And we ticked on close decisions. I think this is these were lots of these spots I would do differently in game than GTO. But I think GTO calls against low jack. But I think I would fold in game with my weakest pairs here, with no fold equity. It sucks so big time. There you go. GTO is a call. Let's look. And this is the range we're looking for. It is fours plus. We call against that shove. But important to know is the low jack was jamming. If our opponents are not finding all these jams with 9-8 suited, 10-8 suited, jack 9 suited, king 9 suited, ace deuce, ace 8 offsuit, they might find some of those, but not all of them. Then it becomes easily a fold, right? Because it's already bottom. So I think my 6 plus is a pretty good assumption. Adjustment to go with 6s plus. And ace 10 plus. Something like that. So I really like that. I really like that. And that's why we also touched on exploiting here, Light Supplier. That's why we also touched on how I would actually in-game do it. While trying to keep the streak alive. This is close. I'm already worried why this is close. I would insta-fold this. But I guess we have some limping here. We have some calling here. Which I wouldn't love. Okay, it's not close. Okay. The very close marker makes me very scared and everything is tough. But... So this must be a call. You know, we already go from the button with force plus against the hijack. Small blind versus button. We have to go for this one. It's very annoying though, because we're never ahead. And we're almost always flipping our bursts. So I can see some spots where it's actually 3s plus. Because with 3s you can actually be ahead of ace deuce and king deuce. Which makes a big difference. So I think deuces is often a fault, but small blind versus button. What do you guys think? Je tante says call. Taslak says fold. It's either deuces or 3s as the bottom here. In GTO land. If the button doesn't jam wide enough, in game we might fold. There's a very good chance we'll stream some cash games later, Light Supplier. But after the study session, I'm first gonna do something else. But I've not decided yet. It might be Tetris. It might be a couple hypers on GG. But after midnight or around midnight, we'll do some 2NL, 4NL, okay? I have a whole schedule for these streams. Midnight is not late for you, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna go call, but I hate it. Okay. It's correct. Quick look at the ranges. So the button goes all in. This is the small blind. Every pair, every ace. Every Broadway, basically. If the button jams for 9 with this. And again, like I said so many times already, if our opponents don't find these jams with king deuce suited, king 5 suited, queen 6 suited, 7 6 suited, king 8 offsuit, if they just min raise, fold those, or just open fold those, I think we can deduce deuces and maybe even 3s for this and fold those. Same for a couple of these and maybe even some ace-x. But that makes, you know, poker is beautiful because you always have to adjust. I don't want to become a GTO bot because I cannot become a GTO bot. And even if I could, it would still be wrong. So, always keep an eye on the table and on the situation. I hope we do, Yatanta. I hope you do. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna play some tournaments. I'm still not sure. Yeah, not in love with this. Gets under the gun. Nah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so small blind, GTO likes to call very wide with suited kings. We learned that. I would always fold this in game. And I think he starts to do... we had a spot like this earlier. Like he might call king 7 suited or king 6 suited here. And some bluffs maybe too. Some 3-bet bluffs maybe too, but I fold. And let's then look at if that made any sense what I was saying. Yep. We start calling king 6 suited. Small blind. I don't love doing that, but it's GTO. We don't have that many 3-bet bluffs though. That's funny. All our 3-bets are pretty strong here. Oh yeah, we 3-bet bluff here. On the offsuit ace side. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, we have a streak. If the streak ends, we have a small marbles break, and we'll see what we do after that. If the streak ends, but only then. King 3 offsuit for 4 blinds. We hate our lives, but we have to fold, I think. This is really bad against the cutoff range still, right? And we still have some chips left, you know. 34% equity needed. I don't think we have 34% against the cutoff. Because it's so often ace-x, king-x, broadways, pairs. You know, what hands do we dominate, you know? All this queen-jack type stuff, 10-jack, jack-8, queen-8 stuff that we are ahead of, but it's not enough, I think. I don't think we are ahead of enough hands to get to 34% equity. But I hope this doesn't kill my streak, chat, so... Dante says call because it's only 4 blinds behind. But potlets are still a thing. 34% is still relevant. We can wait a couple hands and then we can even wait an orbit. Welcome RY Black. Marbles raised soon, but we first gonna go the streak if that's a thing. If we can continue the streak. So I argue the fault. Oh fuck! It ends the streak. Oh. Yeah, every king. It's still bottom of the range, bottom of the calling range. Every king, offsuit 8s, suited 6s. Meh. That's against the cutoff all in. It looks like this. Basically looks the same. This looks almost the same. Like it's a little tighter even. We call a bit wider than the cutoff jams, and that's of course due to potholes. But yeah, I should listen to you. Well, no, I think I did also pretty well today. I think I did pretty well today.